what counts. And he said, well, I was thinking of that. And Butch says, if you can make these faces loved by everybody, go to it. And he says, well, Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Jake, they're my top good guys. And look at them. They're not the greatest to look at. And hence we got the next minute, we got the contract in the mail, and we didn't know the name. All of a sudden, Butch rang me up and he says, I got a contract here for the Bushwhackers. And so that put the name together and that. So then we put the gimmick together. The arms swaying. Originally, when we were the Sheepherders, we swung our arms around a lot. When we were taping in WTBS at the time, that was Ted Turner's studio. They started to put music with us as heels. They took us as characters in. We used to swing our arms around and go, whoa, and that just make noise and that in the studio. Hence, Butch said, well, let's start swinging, marching with our arms on the way to the ring. It was Butch's idea, and grabbing people's heads, and we both sort of got the swinging arms together because we always done that, but not the marching so much. But then he got the licking together. He said, I'm going to grab these heads and give them a lick. And the funny part is, on the way to the ring, everyone was putting their head out to give it a lick. Right. That was the sick part about it. I would grab their head, but I would lick the back of my hand. But I think Butch got a bit of a thrill out of licking the grime off them.
Now, let me ask you this, Luke. A lot of people only know you as, the Bushwhackers in WWE and the happy-go-lucky duo, but they don't. A lot of fans don't know your hardcore, rough edges. Does that bother you that, at all that, that your whole career is based on the WWE, or in some fans' eyes?
No. A lot of people up north now. You see, when we first came in, invaded the USA, we were up in the northwest for Don Owens, and that was jammed up in that corner down there, and they didn't get much cable television up there. Our next step was the NWA, Crockett's in the Carolinas, and that. And we did a lot of coverage. Actually, we were so not green in the business, but to the television. We were green to the television industry that we walked out on Crockett's after 3 or 4 months and went to Puerto Rico the first time, not realizing that we were on WTBS and it was covering most of the country. It was a cable station. A satellite station, and it was covering. We didn't realize till later on that when we came back the second time, we realized after we left, about a year after we left, we heard that TBS was all over the country, and we realized what a mistake we made. Now, we're getting back to the subject, what you just said, that Vince bought out when Vince bought out Turner in 2000, he bought the NWA library. So on that 24/7 channel of Vince's, they play a lot of Sheepherder stuff now. A year ago when I started, for 7 years I never went in the ring. I never went out. I was in offices in Puerto Rico 6 years. In last year I ventured out and I went and worked in Manhattan Center, the ballroom in New York where Vince used to tape Raw at the start, and I went out there. And I did a little thing for ROH in the arena, and all the people started chanting Sheepherders. It was funny. In the New York area where the Bushwhackers were so strong, the people have been watching the Sheepherders. That ROH crowd is like an ECW crowd, the old ECW crowd, and they loved that. They loved that hardcore stuff. And I had fans yelling out Sheepherders, and I was so surprised. And then they told me that they see a lot of the old stuff from NWA, the Sheepherders, because we were on that. We worked for the NWA. We worked for Bill Watts' territory, which was bought out by NWA. We worked there, and we worked NWA, and that for about 5 years, or 4 years in our career. So they got a lot of footage of the Sheepherders. Vince got a lot of footage.
Right.
And we've got a caller on the line from Dallas. Luke, are you able to handle the call?
Certainly am, mate. I lived in Dallas for NWA. I lived right in next to the airport for quite a while there.
All right. Well, here's our caller from Dallas. Are you on the line? You're talking to Bushwhacker Luke.
What's up, Bush? It's LV calling out of Dallas. Thank you for having me on the show once again, guys. In the ropes, hit the ropes radio. Appreciate all of y'all. My question is for
how you doing, mate?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. I'm glad. I'm just happy to be on here. I'd like to ask you a question, because you know your opponents you fight. You know how sometimes it's entertainment, sometimes it's not. Do you ever actually talk to them after you have a fight? I mean, you know, tell me how it works out. I mean, do y'all ever, like, talk to each other afterwards or before, you know what I mean? Wish each other good luck?
No, I don't actually talk. It's like a waltz, mate. I've been in the ring so many times, but I run into my opponents all over the country. I'm booked somewhere at the moment. I'm working independently, and I might wrestle you in one town, and the dressing rooms may be either side of the building, and I don't see the guy in that. But the next town, he may be in the same dressing room with me, you know, the next week or somewhere. So I run across my opponents quite a lot over the country.
Okay.
And there's a lot of people that I used to wrestle that I actually tag up with now. It's working. My partner's back in New Zealand, so Butch is back in Wellington, New Zealand. So I've been working singles, and just last week and a half I've been on the road with a Honky Tonk Man and Al Snow. And Honky Tonk, going back some time ago on a pay-per-view WrestleMania out of Toronto, Honky Tonk hit me over the head with a guitar. Here I am now in the ring with him as a tag partner.
Right. So would you like leave it alone when he hit your head with the guitar? Or do you still, you know what I mean, like, okay, we all right, we cool this in this match?
Hey, mate, that was in the 90s. This is the 2000s. That's gone, happened, and we drew some big money at the time. It was the Rhythm and Blues against the Bushwhackers. He had Greg Valentine as his partner. If you remember the Rhythm and Blues.
Right.
Yep, remember Rhythm and Blues.
Yeah, and then Greg, and I've had Greg as my partner. About 6 months ago, I was in a town where they put Greg and me together as a tag team. So, you know, it's showbiz. You know, you move on. You have your grudges at the time, but it's buried, and you move on.
Right.
All right. Well, we thank you for calling in with your question.
Hey, no problem.
All right. Now, Luke, before we're running out of time. We might go into overtime, so if we do, guys, just check the archive. It'll be uploaded in a matter of minutes. But Luke, before I let you go, I've got to put you on the hot seat. Can you handle the hot seat?
Can I handle the hot seat? Hey, the Bush, when you're hot, you're hot. When you're not, you're not. And the Bushwhacker's hot now, mate.
All right. I'm going to ask you a series of questions. You just give me the quickest answer that comes to your head.
And you know, the Bushwhacker's a bit wacky, so there'll be maybe some wacky answers.
Hey, it is what it is. So my first question to you is, if you were starting a promotion right here today, which wrestler would you bring on? Who would you sign first?
If I sign first, I guess because of my gimmick, I'd have to bring in Eugene.
Eugene, all right.
Wow, Eugene.
That's as the tag partner. You know, we're both a bit goofy there.
Yeah, that would definitely be a good one. Who is your favorite person to wrestle all time?
All time, my favorite person to wrestle, I would say Arn Ennis and Tully Blanchard was one of the greatest tag teams we work with, but we work with many. But that was one of the greatest tag teams that we worked with.
Right. Now, if you if they were making a movie about your life, who would play you and who would play the surrounding cast?
Oh, I don't know who would play me, mate. I don't have much time to watch movies today. There's so many people out there. Yeah, I have to give that a wink, mate.
Right.
Mickey Rourke did one hell of a job, and that I was there for that taping. I saw that, but I